Welcome back. It's all things Sadio Manè on Premier League football today, and we've just had the most amazing conversation with Melissa Reddy, a Liverpool fan and celebrated journalist. Melissa, and let's continue the journey and let's hear a little bit more now from Sadio Manè and his wonderful journey.
Sadio Mané's on his way! And he might break even Manè! Manè again, lovely goal. Manè scores an absolute worldie. And Manè executed without mercy.
It seems like there's a special bond between the players, the teammates, your teammates at Liverpool. There's a brotherhood, yeah?
Yeah, of course. I said now Liverpool is different to many clubs I know and I have been. It's like family and the people too close, especially the players. It's something make us stronger because you can also see on the pitch how close we are. So I think also it's important for teams to have this kind of friendship in and out of the pitch as well. So I think it's one secret I should not even say.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. I know that there were a lot of special moments for you last season. That goal that you scored against Bournemouth to become the Premier League's highest ever scoring Senegalese player, yeah?
I still remember. I even didn't know before the game. But when I score, of course, the record they are here to break, especially. Yeah. So it's what everybody trying to do, especially to break the record. Of course, I was happy to break one of them, and I'm looking forward to break more and more records.
First Senegalese player to score in a Champions League final also happened last season.
It's a great feeling, but after was not the best memory for me because, of course, I will love to score. My team win the Champions League. Yeah, but it's part of football. We have to deal with, and it was good memories, good experience for us as a young players. But yeah, we have more years to come and more Champions League to come. Now we're gonna try to do everything this year. Why not to win it?
I want us to talk about some of your Liverpool teammates. Mohamed Salah, what's he like on and off the pitch?
No, it's very good lad, very good lad.
Salah! What about it?
I think on the pitch he looks very serious, but out of the pitch is always laughing, always laughing. All the boys love him. He's nice person. And he's always doing incredible work in training, and also he's doing great job for us.
There's Salah. Liverpool open for business as per usual.
Score bang for the team. So we are happy for him to have more in our squad.
Yeah, the two of you seem to have this dynamic relationship.
Yeah, of course, more, especially more.
Liverpool are on their way. Salah for Manè, two speedsters. It's Mo Salah. It must be. It is. Blink of an eye. A blur of Liverpool orange.
I know him. I have been watching him when he was playing Chelsea or Basel as well. And he improved a lot in his career, and he's still young. I'm sure he's gonna improve because he work hard every single training, and very happy to have more because he's always bang goal for us. Hopefully, he give us Champions League and Premier League.
You've got another friend, Naby Keita.
I knew him before. We played together in Salzburg 2 years, and then I left. I came to Premier League. We gone to Germany, and still we always keep in touch all the time. And I said, yeah. The first time he talked to me about Liverpool, I said, welcome. This is family, not club. It's family. You will enjoy. And he's always telling me, can't believe how this club, how amazing is Liverpool. So I think
He's had a great start so far.
yeah.
Yeah. What does he bring? What does he bring to the team?
I think he brings strength in our team, and also not easy for new players to come permanently, but for him it's unbelievable, and he started great, and we are here to help him more to get his best and to help it, and I'm sure he will do something special here.
A lot of your teammates at Liverpool say you're the funniest player. Why do they say that?
I don't know. I even don't know. Maybe.
I think you pull a few pranks, right?
Maybe. Maybe.
Let's talk about the season, your expectations for Liverpool.
I think it will be a little bit early to speak about trophies.
But what are you hoping to achieve?
Of course, I'm hoping trophies.
Clever. Manè, 3. Stealthily done.
We're going to try to take game by game and try to win it until the end. Then that means we're going to take everything. So it's what we're looking for.
Do you think, which is the team to beat? Do you think it's the defending champions, Manchester City?
Yeah, of course, I think it will be tough against Manchester City because it's a great team and great players, great manager.
And Aguero goes for elevation and achieves perfection.
I will go for Chelsea also because they have good manager, new system, new players, of course. But we are Liverpool.
Manè, Firmino, Salah! Liverpool go top.
Everything's possible with us, so we're going to try to focus in ourselves and to beat all of them.
Do you set yourself personal targets like this is how many goals I want to score this season, so many assists?
Of course, as a striker, every time you always put this kind of things in your mind, but it should not affect you because we never know in football. Sometimes it can go well, sometimes it can go also difficult because it injuries, bad moments. It's normal you put this target in yourself, but you have to be a little bit careful with it because we never know what's going to happen. Hopefully everything will be fine this season, and my target is to much better than last season.
I'm going to move closer because I want you to tell me what a Jurgen Klopp hug feels like. Tell me, and then you're going to show me.
Special, and I'm going to show you guys if you want. Come on.
Demonstrate. Special? You pat you on your back?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're amazing, Sadio.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and
Thank
we wish
you.
you the best for the season to come.
2-2.
Uh-huh.
2.
There we go. Talk.
Carol. Chabalaba. Is it good?
Oh man, as a fan, as a supporter, Melissa, I mean, what are you hoping for Liverpool this season? What do you think you can achieve?
I mean, the start of the season has shown Liverpool have greater defensive solidity. We saw it start from October last season, and it's just been taken up another level. Now, as I said, when the attack kicks into gear and you marry the two, it's going to be quite an interesting facet for opponents to deal with, because I think they always looked at Liverpool and thought there's a weakness in protecting their own offensive movements. We can get at them, we can expose them defensively. If you can't do that anymore and you're dealing with the best attack in Europe, it becomes quite difficult. So I think Liverpool will push City really, really close for the title. I think Mane is right there. Chelsea have looked quite strong at the start of the season, but I think they will still find challenges going forward. Tottenham have kept all their best players, and even though they haven't signed anyone, it's still a year on in their development. They understand each other really well. They're embedded to their system. They know what Pochettino expects. But it's a very, very optimistic time to be a Liverpool fan.
It is, isn't it? What do you think is the main priority? Because, you know, Sadio's saying it's still too early to talk about trophies. But what do you think they'll prioritize?
Ultimately, Liverpool want to win the Premier League, ultimately. The Champions League, I think it's a competition that just suits a Klopp side so much because of the way they set up, because they are so aggressive. And the tournament is gearing more towards teams that, you know, want to be expansive. So those are obviously the two top targets.
Mm-hmm.
I do think because they've got depth in the squad that they're going to try in the FA Cup and in the League Cup, because as much as they've made progress, I think they'd like a piece of silverware to underscore that.
Of course.
And, you know, those two competitions provide an easier way of getting one.
And how pivotal is Manè to the squad and to them getting those trophies?
He is unbelievably important because of the variety in his game, the fact, like we said, that he is flexible, that he never hides. I really like the fact that he's actively taken more responsibility now. He's not just taken over the number 10 shirt. You saw him in pre-season demanding penalties. You know, when the game looks to be setting into a tempo that doesn't suit Liverpool, he'll be the one to drop back and try and spark things. So I think he's growing in his game, which is obviously quite sensational for Liverpool and the manager.
And playing for the Senegal national side, wearing that captain's armband, do you think that's also aided his progression to become so much more of a leader?
Yeah, undoubtedly. And he's not a leader in the sense of the shouter and the screamer, or, you know, pointing everywhere and telling people where they need to be. He sort of leads by example in how professional he is.
As well.
Yeah, how dedicated he is. The fact that he will leave himself on a pitch, you know, you want a captain that does that. And I think in his own way, he's quite inspiring. He may not give, you know, these big speeches or anything like that, but his humble manner is quite endearing to his teammates, and they want to follow him. They want to listen to him. Everybody loves him, so he's quite an easy character to get behind.
Yeah, and he's a calming factor as well, isn't he, at times?
Yeah, when emotions are running high in a dressing room, you do need the quieter players to sort of say, relax guys, we've got this. And there's a massive element of that in Sadio. He doesn't doubt. He went through a period last season where he wasn't at his best. And, it was a few weeks, and he always said, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'll start playing well again. I'll hit form. And he ended the campaign in remarkable fashion. He was Liverpool's most important player towards the end of the season. And he started it in the same way.
He says, if you look at a player like Salah, for example, he's only going to get better and better. He still has plenty years yet. Do you get the same feeling about Sadio?
Yeah, I don't think he's anywhere near his ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Mo and a lot of Liverpool's players are around the same age. They haven't hit their peak yet. And I still think we've got a lot more that we haven't seen in Sadio's locker. There's a lot more elements to him. Like I said, I'm certain he can play as an 8 because he's got all the attributes for it. And the fact that he's assumed more responsibility for the club means I think we'll start to see different sides to him. He doesn't always have to be the speedster, getting on the end of chances or creating them. He can be the player that starts things from a few steps back and controls the play more.
And you look at the start that Liverpool has had now. Are you a little bit concerned? Would you rather have had a bit more of conservative start? Sadio saying, listen, we're just going to take it one game at a time. Let's win this game, then the next, and keep winning.
Yeah, that's a very Jurgen Klopp approach to that, and it's the right approach to have. It obviously doesn't help expectations for them to win 3 out of 3. Because everyone, there was so much optimism coming into the season because of the improvements made to the squad that, you know, people are getting quite giddy. But, I mean, football is meant to be enjoyed. You're meant to have hope. You're meant to look at the sky and aim for that. So I think Liverpool will be quite happy with their flawless start. But I also think they're very aware that they haven't been their best yet, or nowhere near their best. I think they're at 6 out of 10 at the moment. So it will encourage them that they've still got those gears to hit. But at the same time, I think they'll know. Doesn't mean just because we've got 3 wins, we're on the right track here. There's a lot more effort still to be put in.
All right, now you look at the foes that lie ahead. Spurs, I mean, you said they're one of the danger teams, well, certainly it seems this season. And then there's going to be Chelsea as well to follow after that.
Yeah, very, very difficult games. You know, in Klopp's first full season in charge, Liverpool did really well against the big six. They were unplayable at times. It was actually scary what they could do. Last season, they improved their record against the bottom half teams, but they weren't as explosive against the top half side. So I think this year they need to find a nice balance and show, you know, how Klopp puts it their best face a lot more continuously. Tottenham versus Liverpool, I think beyond Liverpool and City contests are my favourite ones to watch because tactically, you know, both teams want to be expansive, they want to be assertive. You know how both managers, you know, want their teams to play front foot approach. And entertainment-wise, it's great. Obviously, now you've got the side battle with Harry Kane and Mo Salah for Golden Boot and the like. So, yeah, that's going to be a good game. You know, we spoke about Chelsea. They've looked very good under Sarri, but I think Liverpool will want to put the first major doubt in their season.
When you look at the intensity from last season, obviously highlighted by the Champions League campaign, and then you look at the standout players like a Sadio, like Salah, and what it is that they had to do during the World Cup to be able to continue, you know, at that level and start the season the way that they have. Is there a concern about running out of steam?
Yeah, it's a very good question because, you know, it's quite demanding. It's taxing what these players go through. Recovery periods have been considerably shortened. And if you want to compete on all fronts, which Liverpool do want to do, then, you know, that is putting a lot of ask on the players. But I think, you know, in terms of nutrition and
I was going to ask.
Physiotherapy and all that, the top clubs are very, very tuned into how a players' body is reacting. But beyond that, Liverpool, you know, like I said, they've got incredible strength in depth now, to a point where a £40 million signing in Fabinho hasn't been on the bench in the last 2 games, hasn't been making the squad. And, you know, when Lovren comes back, you'll have somebody else dropping out of the squad, maybe a Martin. So I think there's room for Klopp to rotate, and as soon as the games start coming, he will manage game time more because he'll know that he has to, because, you know, the Champions League run, the World Cup, the fact that so many players came back so late and like you said, have had to hit the ground running. So yeah, I do expect him fully to try and strike a balance between rhythm and rotation when the games stack up.
Well, as you said, a lot of expectation from the fans, without a doubt. But what are the murmurs in the dressing room? What are the discussions at Marwood?
I think a big change for Liverpool, and it hasn't really been spoken about, but because we tend to look at tactics or what's happening on the pitch, for me, has been the psychology of the side, because they knew they were good, but they would always hang on their flaws. So we always concede from set pieces. We're scared at every corner. We don't like strikers that want to bully us. Traditional centre forwards. We don't like playing against them. And from sort of the end of last October, slowly, Liverpool started defending set pieces better. They handled those kind of strikers better. They were keeping more clean sheets. And then in January, Virgil van Dijk entered the equation. And in the FA Cup game against Everton, one of his teammates said, he turned around in the tunnel and looked at Virgil van Dijk and said, you just know he's got you covered. He's a colossus. He's a mountain. And he because he's so composed and confident, he invokes the same feelings in you. And Virgil van Dijk has just, added the steel and solidity to Liverpool's backline, which has then created more confidence around everyone. And now that Liverpool believe that they're strong in defense like they are strong in attack, that mentally is a massive, massive, massive advantage, because they don't have self-doubts. They now think to themselves, hey, we're the team that got into the Champions League final. We've got the second most expensive goalkeeper in the world now. We've got one of the best midfielders in Naby Keita, a midfielder who's two players in one. We've got all this extra talent on the bench now. So why not? Why can't we be Premier League champions? Why can't we get to the final of the Champions League again?
You've got all these assets, enough to topple Man City?
I think Manchester City are an incredible side. Tactically, so spot on. The fact that, when we talk about strength in depth, they have the most strength in depth. They went and got Riyad Mahrez, Benjamin Mendy's back from injury, and he gives them so many more avenues from fullback. And I think what Liverpool need to do is just make sure they're always within touching distance. And if Liverpool can push City, and whether City still end up winning the league or not, maybe Liverpool get 90 points and City hits 100 points again, it's still a phenomenal season for Liverpool. I think you just need to push them as far as possible.
Oh, all right. Well, so far so good, Melissa. Thank you so much for being in studio today. We know all of you have enjoyed today's edition of Premier League Today. Well, the best of luck for Liverpool, to Liverpool for the rest of the season. From myself, Simply Cal, it's goodbye.
For me, I'm gonna be a football player, but I don't know how. I can say the dream became true, and now we play in the best league in the world.
Manè in! Manè scores! It's Sadio Manè! Incredible! Sadio Manè! Wow! Manè scores an absolute worldie! And a high play for Manè! Manè again, lovely goal! Manè executed without mercy. Blessed by imagination and invention. Liverpool's Senegalese trump card, Sadio Manè.
I needed more time.